Hello YouTube, SentinalhMC here, back for more Space Engineers. So we're continuing work on our the beginnings of our base, basically just transferring all the machinery from the rescue ship onto the ground over here, so that we can get rid of the rescue ship. I do have enough room here to place the medical bay, so I may just opt to place it right there, because I need that medical bay. It's one of the most important things, because if the medical bay if there's no medical bay down, then the only option for you to if you die is to respawn at, and I need some interior plates. I can get them from this door actually. I believe is to respawn in a respawn ship, and I don't want to do that. I want to respawn at a medical bay here at my base, because I think the respawn ship can spawn you anywhere. And since this is an infinite world, that means, yeah, I'd probably never find this place again. So now that I've done that, I've got my interior plate. It's not nearly enough to actually build a medical bay, but we will at least be able to plop it down. Yeah, so you need 220 interior plates for this. And I believe that, yeah, there's plenty of space for me to walk through here. It might be a little annoying, but I can totally place it there for now. So we basically got everything that we're going to need placed down here. We'll just save. We've got our power source there. We've got our refinery, a blast furnace, which I'll probably finish this first. A assembler and a medical bay. We're going to also put the gravity generator down here. I'm going to move that as soon as I get the reactor done. So we can go ahead and weld on that a little bit. This is at 2 times the weld speed, so on realistic mode that would weld half as fast. So you can tell why I, in case you didn't quite get why I changed that. That is exactly why I changed that. Now we're going to grind down the medical bay medical room because I do not see myself dying. Hold down T on this to charge. Anytime soon. I don't see myself dying. I'm going to be fine. So we're going to grind it down. Well, we are full up in our inventory. So we're going to go down here and we're going to weld onto the medical bay. Now, medical bays, I briefly played on a PvP server. And let me tell you, if you play PvP servers on Space Engineers, I really like that voice. Medical bays are very important. Oh, gotta be careful. I don't want to slam into anything at high speed and kill myself. Now, as you can see, when you grind something down in this game, you get the components back from the top of the list down, the higher level components first. Careful. I might actually die right after I said I wouldn't die. Just because of being silly. I do not want to do that. Alright, so keep grinding. You'll notice that my inventory is getting full up very quickly. That's because these medical components, they take up a lot of volume. So I'm carrying resources that are quite heavy. Quite large, like large steel tubes and whatnot. So you can't carry nearly as many large steel tubes as you can steel plates. Now, if I continue to grind this and ground it all the way down while having no inventory space, all of the materials that I can't pick up will drop onto the floor. So you should always be very careful with that when grinding the machines down all the way. Because like if there was no gravity here and you were out in space, you might, or if you were on the outside of a ship that was moving and you ground something off, then all those parts will suddenly spawn into the world and they may fly away and you won't be able to get them again. So you do want to be quite careful. Since there's gravity here, it wouldn't have mattered because as soon as I ground that down, the parts would have just dropped on the floor. But you want to be careful if you're not in a controlled area like that. Like, let's say you were you had a large ship, and you were and it was moving, and you were on top of the ship, and you were doing some sort of a repair. If you were to grind something down, like an antenna or something, and you didn't have room for all the parts would spawn in, and if there was no gravity right there, because maybe you have the gravity generators set so there's only gravity inside the ship. Because the ship's moving and the parts will spawn with no momentum, your ship will just leave them in the dust, and you'll just have to watch as they fly away, or as they're left behind. You could argue that the parts should retain... I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to take this all apart anyway. You could argue that the parts should inherit the velocity from the ship, if that was the case. But I do not think that they do. I'm going to sit in the cockpit so that I can charge my energy up. Like I said, the energy doesn't go down very quickly unless you're using tools, because the tools that you use, they do get their energy from your total energy. So as you're using tools, now I need to go in here and actually remove the uranium. Now that I've done this, I want to hurry up and get this reactor down here built as soon as possible. Because I have no way of charging my suit now. So I gotta get the gotta get that new one set up, and then I can use the medical bay to charge my suit, because there's that little console on the side, and if you hold down, by default it's T, while facing that console, and that's all the parts I need here. Then you can, it'll charge your suit. Okay, that's built. So now, like I said, I can go over here to this little console. Oh, I placed this medical room upside down, didn't I? Ah, darn it.
Meteor storm inbound.
See, I can hold T, and... Come on, medical room. Why is my, I'll have that on. Why is that still going down? Oh, duh. I haven't put any uranium in the reactor. Doy. I'm real smart, guys. I'm the smartiest. There. Now that there's actually power, I'm gonna move this medical bay at some point soon anyway, so it's not gonna stay upside down. I don't know how I managed to place it upside down, but I totally did. Okay, so that's done. I shouldn't worry about this until later because it's totally unnecessary. The next thing that I should do is take apart the refinery. Well, first I should put whatever parts that I have currently into this. I'm gonna put these parts that I have into the arc furnace because I obviously don't need them for the refinery. But you see how cheap this arc furnace is? It's very, very cheap. This thing, on the other hand, very expensive. So arc furnace. That's why they implemented the arc furnace, so that you can. Because it used to be that if you didn't have a refinery, it would take a while to get, but it was so important that you got it up quick. Like, this is a game where you cannot start with nothing. Like, you can't make a refinery if you don't have a refinery. Okay, that might sound funny, but you can't unless you have either a refinery or, I don't know, you're getting the parts from somewhere else, like you're cannibalizing ships. You cannot build one. You need the processed resources. You can't make anything from raw resources. You can't process iron ore into steel plates, you know, in your hand. It doesn't work. You need the refinery. Okay, so just about finished grinding this off. I don't think I'll be able to carry all the plates. No, I will not. I definitely do not want to let those steel plates start floating away into this cavern, because steel plates are pretty small and it'd be annoying to pick them back up. Now I will tell you this, if those 500 or so steel plates were to drop into the world, it would not spawn 500 individual steel plates. It would spawn like one steel plate, but that one steel plate would basically contain all of the rest of the steel plates. Get it? Which I think is really, really good. They obviously did that for performance reasons, but I also think it makes a lot of sense gameplay wise. You don't want that. That would be game breaking if that actually happened. Because I'm on my computer, I have set the I forgot to change that again. I'm recording these like one after the other right now, so I forgot to turn off my Steam notifications again. I could do that right now, I think, but I don't really want to open my Steam overlay right now. Okay. So yeah, if I were to grind this all the way off, there would be like one steel plate floating there, but it would represent the 500. And if I tried to pick them up and I didn't have enough inventory space to pick them all up, it would pick up as many as would currently fit in my inventory. So it's very, very nice. They did a really good job with that. All right, so the refinery is built. Turn on my my light here. I turned it off earlier, but now I realize you might be having trouble seeing this. I hope you don't. I hope that this comes out well in post and you can see it fine. So we're gonna grind off the assembler. Now I don't have to do this, or I wouldn't have to do this if I hadn't turned on that option that causes it to the ship to disappear when I leave the server. Because the way that Space Engineers works is that even though this is a single-player game, it's basically it's a server as well. So I'm playing this game single player. It's a private game; nobody else can join it. But if I wanted to, I could invite someone on Steam, and they could drop into my single-player game, which is really, really awesome. I really like games that let you do that. I've never been able to get that to work in Minecraft, the LAN mode sort of thing, but I really like games that do that. And as you can notice, all of these structures have like intermediate construction states so that you can see what they look like. That's another really awesome touch. So you can see all the little arms inside the assembler that work to assemble the items. It's really, really cool. I really like that they did this. See that you can just see it's in different stages of construction. And if you look at the HUD on the right about the assembler, the bar will only go past the picture of a component if it has all of them. So you have to have all the steel plates, construction components, small steel tubes, motors, displays, computers. You have to have all the components that are underneath the red line in here in order for it to finish. But as soon as you pass the red line, this assembler is now usable. Okay? I don't even have to have those extra 20 steel plates. However, by continuing to weld it, I will increase the structural integrity of this assembler. So now if something were to happen, like if this were to get shot or if something were to crash into it, it would have that extra buffer of health. Because that meter is also the health meter for these machines. Okay, we're on to 35% energy. Welding and grinding do take quite a lot of energy. If you're doing a lot of welding and grinding, you will run down your suit energy a bit faster than normal. Especially with my light on as well. All these different things that I'm doing, use that suit energy. So having this light on uses my suit energy. Having my jetpack on is using my suit energy. So the more of those things that you can turn off and not use, the longer your suit energy will last. Okay, so now I need to set down another. Block because I need to put my gravity generator down. And I'm just trying to decide where I want to put that gravity generator. I think I'm going to put that gravity generator. I think I want to put it because I'm probably going to build my base in this direction and maybe a little in this direction. I'm definitely going to build it in this direction. Basically, this whole area here is probably going to be my the platform or the little base before long. So I think I want to place my... And the cool thing is that it doesn't really matter. I don't have to be that specific or exact as to where I put this because of the way it works. It doesn't really matter that much. Because you get to decide, you get to tell the game... I'll put it here just because it's out of the way. You will get to tell the game there's options for the gravity generator. That you get to set where the area of gravity is. And a gravity generator might not be the most realistic thing in the world, but it's obviously done for gameplay purposes. Like, any realistic method of generating artificial gravity would be a massive construction that would be really, really difficult to build. Yeah, I'm gonna... First I want to place down the other one. And there's two kinds of gravity generators. There's this one, and then there's the spherical generator. So with this gravity generator, you see how it's orientated? It always points upwards from whatever block you put it on. So if I grab a gravity generator and go into my 5, you see how this is oriented down? So this gravity generator will always pull down in this direction. But if I place one on the wall here, this gravity generator will pull towards the wall. Pretty cool, huh? Or this gravity generator would pull towards this wall. Right there, see? So yeah, that's how you can use gravity generators. You can set up different gravity fields. It's really cool. So you could technically build a gravity pipeline that would anything that you put in it would get pulled down, and then it would turn a corner and pull a different direction. But then the spherical one pulls towards it from all sides, and it was really, really awesome when they added that, because what people were doing, and this is really cool, is they were using gravity generators to create a collection system for ores when they were mining them. So rather than the ore chunks just sort of flying all over the place. And gravity generators aren't difficult to build except for this component right here. Gravity generator components. They're really expensive to make. They just take a really long time. The resources that they're made from, I think it's primarily platinum and cobalt, take forever to refine, especially on realistic. I have spent hours playing Space Engineers just trying to get the gravity generator components made, and it took more than one day on that server because it was all set to realistic. So yeah, those components are very expensive to make. If you've only got one refinery, don't even try, really. Like, from experience, I now know that I would want to have at least 4 refineries going before I would attempt a gravity generator from scratch. Now, I can go into the control panel on the gravity generator by pressing K on it, and you can see you can change the field width, height, depth, and acceleration. And the width, height, and depth are all in relation to the machine itself. So I think this is left and right from where this keypad is. This is up and down from it, and then this is forward away from you and then back towards you when you're facing this panel. I don't know exactly. I haven't really messed with these. I usually just leave them on 150, but you obviously don't want to leave this on 150 if you're just in a small little ship. You definitely want to tweak this until it only is inside your ship, because as you turn these down, the thing requires less power. We're going to leave it up at 150 because I'm going to want gravity like in this entire area. And it doesn't actually make your jetpack require any more power. Yeah, see, look at this. This is another cool thing. So this ship is not perfectly straight in relation to the gravity generator that's down there. So I'm still in the gravity field, so I'm now at an angle. It's a bit funny. There was a design people had for a sort of a trap inside of their ship. Oh, did I not have enough inventory space for those? I thought I totally had enough inventory space. I thought I totally had enough inventory space. Oh. Well, that's enough for this episode. So we've just about got our station built, our little starting base built. In the next episode, we're going to finish it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. I'm SentinalH, and I'm signing out.